But it's painful.
Yeah.
You know that, right? It's the slower we go, it hurts.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's the point.
Yeah. And her counts are like 5, 6.
And then I forget the few counts.
Yeah, and she forgets it. 6.
But that's a joke, right?
I
Like
know,
Pilates instructors don't know maths.
Yeah.
Because it's like from 10, you again go back to 1 and then count till 20.
Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Gal Pals Unplugged. I'm Arya.
I'm Sanchita.
And this is a place where we talk about drama, but because we're in our late 20s, we pretend it's mature. So today's episode is all about strengthening your core. Literally, we have with us Swapna, who is a Pilates powerhouse. She dances and she's also a full-time content creator, and she's here to bust some myths and share some transformative tips with us. Welcome, Swapna.
Hi.
Hi.
So, Swapna, I've trained with you for almost 2 years now, and I've loved my journey. So today, let's go through everything Pilates. Let's go through how it's not just about looking good. Why, I don't know why it's branded like that, but it is. And so my number one question to you is, you make it look like we have 30 hours in a day. we don't. So how are you doing it all?
It's just planning your time basically. I find it very easy to plan my day when I wake up early in the morning. It just gives you more hours. And I know that the current generation is completely opposite. Like they work more at night. But still I feel that, early morning you're well rested. If you sleep at night, your circadian rhythm is better. You feel better because that's how the human body is designed. Yeah, so that's how basically I plan my day. For me, I basically start with working because that's how my nature of work is. And then do the workout. While working only I create my content because most of my content is related to fitness. The other fun content I usually keep it for the weekend, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay, great.
Let's rewind to the origin of Pilates. Tell us everything.
So Pilates is not new. That's one of the most common myths that people think that Pilates is a new form of workout.
Yeah.
But it's not new at all. In fact, it was created by Joseph Pilates, and he named it as contrology before. He was a sick child. He had asthma, he had rickets, he had rheumatoid fever. So basically, he started finding ways to strengthen himself. That's how Pilates was born. So he found ways where he could strengthen his body, he could strengthen his mind, and then get a mind-body connection formed.
Okay.
So he was born in 1883. So that's like a really old form of workout. It's not new at all. Joseph was basically a German. He was born in Germany, and at that time World War I broke out. So he was detained in one of the camps in England. The people in the camp, they found that maybe he is a good choice for an orderly to work with the injured soldiers.
Okay.
So he started working with injured soldiers, started giving them exercises, and at that point, because there were no antibiotics, the medicine field was not that developed, the only way that people recovered was bed rest. And of course, with that, there are a lot of problems. You do recover, but there's you're not moving, and human body is meant to move. So you have muscle atrophy, you have other secondary illnesses that come up with not moving. So that's why he basically started making people move. But obviously for one man to physically move 30-40 people in a day was very difficult. So then he thought of a way of probably using the bed and then attaching springs or props to the bed, so that he could instruct and people could move on their own rather than him going and manually moving people.
Yeah.
And that's how the first Pilates equipment, that's the Cadillac that you see in the studio, which is basically like a bed.
Okay, yeah.
And then you have like that machardani kind of a thing on the top.
Yeah.
So that was the first equipment that came to be. After the war, the Germans thought that, they saw all his work, and then they wanted him to train the police forces of the German police forces. And he didn't want anything to do with the Germans. So he ran away from Germany and he got on the boat. So while going to the US, he met his wife Clara, and she was a nurse. So that's how rehabilitation also became a big part of Pilates. So when they reached New York, they started their first studio, and that studio was just above the New York Ballet school. And in ballet, obviously, there's a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So that's how the dancers started going to him.
Oh.
And that's how you see a lot of movements now that are very graceful, they're very
Yeah.
poised. So that's how Pilates, transitioned from being for injured soldiers to being a more graceful, more poised, more controlled sort of a movement movement pattern. Yeah.
That's so fun to know. I had no clue about any of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Especially all the men watching. Hello.
Exactly.
injured
It was for
soldiers.
men.
Yeah. So Apna, the ultimate debate that I want to ask you about, Pilates versus gym, which is like strength training.
Yeah.
What is your take on this?
So personally, I do both. So speaking scientifically, now there are 5 types of components of fitness that basically make up what we call as complete fitness. So you have your muscular strength, you have your muscular endurance, you have cardiovascular, you have flexibility, and your body composition. So for someone to be completely fit or healthy, forget fit also, healthy, you need to work on all the 5 components of fitness. So for example, if a runner only keeps running his entire life, or for that entire training season as well, 3 things can happen. He will completely lose muscle mass, he might get injured, or he will get overused. So only his cardiovascular strength will increase. Probably a little bit he might get strength benefits from running, but what about the other components of fitness? So a runner also needs to work on strengthening. He also needs to work on flexibility to have an overall fitness. Now there are basically commonalities and common advantages in both strength training and Pilates. So both is going to give you muscular strength, both are going to give you muscular endurance, but the level of advantage can be different. So say Pilates might not give you as much muscular strength as a strength training workout might. So it also depends on your goals. Like what is your goal? Do you want to look bulked up? Then Pilates will not do that for you. But do you want to look lean? Then that Pilates will do that for you. So I think a mix of both is great, because mainly in strength training, you're mainly working out on the bigger muscles. Whereas in Pilates, you're working out the full body as a whole, like as one unit. So very rarely in Pilates will you see us only working the bicep. Whereas in the gym, you will see most of the people training, they have a particular day for triceps and biceps. Okay. So Pilates works a lot on smaller muscle groups. So it complements your gym training as well. Why? Because the smaller muscles around your shoulder are not as
supporting.
The bigger muscle. So Pilates will do that for you. Core strength, which is one of the most important factors in strengthening, is a major focus in Pilates. Flexibility, mobility is also taken care of in Pilates. So any trainer that says that this is the only form of exercise that is best, I think it's a bit arrogant to say that. Everyone should have an open mind and then plan your workouts according to what your goal, your lifestyle is and what you enjoy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So make it a mix, like who's saying no? You have 7 days in the week. Break down your workouts. It'll also break the monotony and the boredom that comes with doing the same kind of workouts every day. And that'll give you a good mix.
You know, that's something Arya, she said to me when I started working out with her, because I did not work out for the longest amount of time. I started because of her, like Pilates, because it was like a cute workout. And then she told me, we were at the gym, she's like, no, start strength training, like you need strength along with this. So I was like, okay, if someone who's teaching me Pilates is telling me go to the gym, then have a good mix. So that's how
makes sense. Also, it's fun, right? Like you said, to kind of mix up your workout. So tell us, what's your journey been like? Because you started over 10 years ago with Pilates. Was it difficult in the day to convince people that Pilates is actually a real form of workout?
Basically, 10 years back, people used to think that Pilates is only for celebrities. Because somewhere down the line, yes, Pilates is a little more heavy on the pocket as well. Now it has come to a level where probably a group class of Pilates is equivalent to a PT session, that like it would be the same. But at that point of time, it seemed that it was very expensive and it was only for the celebrities. So that was a barrier to be overcome. That also helped in a way because it became like an aspirational workout for people. Like people wanted to do it because the celebrities were doing it. So it was like both. But now that more and more people are doing Pilates, they understand that it's not just for the celebrities and it's not just like a fancy workout. It does actually have benefits.
It's not easy also.
Exactly. So that's how the trend has now changed from being aspirational to being actually understanding that it does work and it's not just a fancy workout. And the change has also come in the elderly people because a lot of physios or the doctors have now understood that Pilates is a great rehabilitation exercise as well.
So, give us some surprising benefits of Pilates that people might not be aware about.
So, Pilates basically helps with your muscle toning, muscle strengthening. It helps with developing body balance because if you've seen, most of the equipments are moving. So, obviously, you need to balance on the equipments. That is one. It helps you with your mind-body connection as well, because if you, in class also, I tell you, go slow, because just moving your body randomly is not going to help in any way. Breathing is a very important part in Pilates as well. Basically, determining how you move in daily life, so it helps you to strengthen your core. So everyone who comes in their first class of Pilates always discovers that they have new muscles.
Yeah, I felt that.
I did
I
one
couldn't
class.
walk. I did not know I had these body parts.
So the whole class she did it with, like poker. And after the class, I'm like, so you're gonna come, right? You loved it. She's like, the parts hurting that I didn't know could hurt. I don't know.
Like, I don't think anyone's groin muscles have ever hurt before.
It hurts. I know. Hurts my arms.
So you've told us about the benefits. Tell us a few maybe like myths around Pilates and maybe like things you've heard that are like almost outrageous. Like if you would like to debunk them for us.
Definitely. So first and foremost, the name of the exercise is Pilates. It's not Pilates. It's not pilots. Second, again, we did touch upon it, is that it's not a workout designed for women. It was actually designed for injured soldiers. So it is very much a workout pattern which is for men.
So would you say there's a stigma with men doing Pilates?
I think so, definitely. So there's like a lot of peer pressure around men doing Pilates because it's seen more of a very graceful, poised sort of a workout. So the manly men think that it's not something to be done. And because of this myth, like if you see at the studio also, there are very few men who actually come and do Pilates. But now with a little bit more awareness, we do have a few men who come into Pilates. They do not find it easy. So it is not an easy form of workout. It is not only for women. I have seen men die while doing Pilates. I've seen their muscles shake and I've seen their soul shake as well after the class.
So Apna, I think we've talked about this in class. What changes have you noticed in like your body's equilibrium and your functionality, like overall functionality in your 20s and your 30s? Like how do you think it evolves and what should people be careful about as they go?
Okay. So a lot of change from your 20s to your 30s. Like the moment I think you cross your 30s, it's like you have a new body and a new mind. Things that you could do in your 20s very easily become very difficult when you enter your 30s. Hangovers, yeah. I mean, I was a dustbin in my 20s. I could literally eat everything, eat how much ever Maggie, ice creams, whatever I wanted, and it was fine.
You had high metabolism all your life?
Yeah.
Mostly,
yes.
Yeah.
But that's what changed after, you hit your 31, 32 and things start changing. Your face starts changing. You start seeing those fine lines creeping in, all of those changes. Physical changes for women start occurring in your 30s. And that is where you need to start taking more care of your body, of your mind. So as you start to age, the ability of your body to balance starts to reduce. And that starts happening not only in the old age, that process starts happening as early as your 30s.
Oh.
So that is why you need to train your mind and body to balance as well. That's why you see a lot of workouts that we do do have a lot of balancing movements also that we work on. So that's a major shift that happens from your 20s to your 30s.
So we know you also dance and you create content. So can you walk us through a day in your life and give us a peek into your diet as well?
Yes. So usually my day starts really early, like wake up at 5:30, go.
Every time somebody says
we
look at each
probably sleeping. And wait, a more important question: what time do you go to bed?
Yeah, so that is something that even I'm trying to change. I sleep by 11:30, 12. So that is something I want to change and sleep a little earlier.
Yeah.
But I love watching television, so I'm like, I really want to watch. So I start work at around 6. Have work till about 10:30. I do have my breakfast and all on the go in between. Come home, spend time with Kiki, who's my dog. Maybe probably shoot some content at that time. And I usually don't shoot every day. So usually on the weekend, like if there's a particular, like I know what I'm going to be posting during the week. So I finish off shooting like a few workouts, or if I'm in the gym, then I just, after my workout, I finish shooting off any of the workout related videos. Dance, I usually go for a dance class on the weekend. So that's where I get my dance content done. And lifestyle is just on the go. Like whenever you're out, just shoot something.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you'll always see me scrolling on Instagram for like ideas and inspiration, and that's another problem that I have with my family. Like everyone is like, you're always on the phone.
What do you like? What is your diet like?
So I eat everything. Very honestly.
Great.
I love that.
Say out loud for the people in the back. Everything.
So I eat everything in moderation. So if you are actually like, you eat something and it doesn't suit you, then it's fine if you cut it out completely from your diet. But any which ways, dieting for lifelong is something that is wrong. You will have a goal for which probably 2 months you might follow a diet, and then you get back to eating your normal, normal things, because that is how life should be. Like you should be able to enjoy a piece of cake every now and then. You should be able to enjoy the foods that you like. You should be able to eat your staple foods. So each body is different. So one fit is not going to be for all. And then you need to have a conversation with your nutritionist saying that, this is working for me, this is not working for me. Because if you don't feel good, then there's no point in looking good.
So a lot of our viewers are in the transitional phase of, just getting married or planning for a baby and things like that. So let's talk about these 2 P's, pregnancy and Pilates.
Pilates is extremely helpful in pregnancies. We have a lot of prenatal clients who come into the classes. Like plan to prepare your body as well, because it's a big physical change that's going to be happening for about 1.5 to 2 years of your life. When your doctors always suggest that you should continue with whatever you were doing before. So if your body is used to doing strength training, if your body is used to doing Pilates, you can continue that throughout your pregnancy, provided that there are no complications or there's no contraindicated movements that you cannot do. Obviously, all of this needs to be done under the care and guidance of a trained trainer, whichever form of exercise that might be. And even in Pilates, there are some do's and don'ts that we follow during each of your trimester. So we've had clients who on the first day who have called up and said, I'm pregnant. So now we need to, change the workout accordingly. And we've done that. And they've gone in to deliver and popped out the baby in like 2 minutes because Pilates gives you a lot of core strength. It gives you, it prepares your body for delivery. So we've had success stories like that. Also, while breastfeeding, post your pregnancy, also it is again very helpful because you need to carry the baby the entire time. You're always, you're breastfeeding, so you're always hunched up. So you need your back muscles to be stronger, you need your core to be stronger to prepare you probably for a cesarean. Or, so Pilates will help you not just during your pregnancy, it's also going to prepare you for what's coming up in the future.
whole back pain epidemic is on the rise with the way 9 to 5s are structured right now, work from home and all of that. Also online delivery, so you literally do not step out of your house. What role does Pilates play in this?
So the base of Pilates is core strength, right? And the major back issues come from having a weak core. Now, Pilates works with spinal mobility as well as spinal stability. So when your spine is strong and stable and mobile, when it needs to be, according to the whatever functional movements you're doing, obviously the pain is going to be less.
So, Swapna, like now, as we covered that Pilates is on a rise, and we see a lot of alternatives to our reformer Pilates that we do,
Yeah.
which is like a mat Pilates that I've seen, and I've seen wall Pilates, people hanging upside down. Do you think, like, what difference does it make? Like, how is that?
So mat Pilates is something that is a part of the Pilates repertoire.
Yeah.
Wall Pilates is not. The main difference between actually working out with a trainer and just watching something on YouTube and doing it, pros, obviously you're getting in a workout, so something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And it's easier to do at home. You can do it while you're traveling. So those are the pros of YouTube videos.
Yeah,
Like a trainer is actually going to check your form or modify movements that probably you might be doing wrong, or probably giving you more variations, knowing your body. Knowing what level of fitness
Also,
that you're
challenge
at.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they can either challenge you or they can modify the movements. If on a particular day your leg is hurting, they'll give you more upper body movements. So it's more personal. It's more customized.
Yeah.
So we always wrap our episodes with a fun game of sorts. So let's play a round of this or that questions.
Okay.
Choose your pick. Dance floor or the Pilates studio?
That's difficult. Dancing on the reformer.
Oh, she's gonna do that.
And only she is doing this. I'm not gonna do this. Smoothie bowl or protein shake?
Smoothie bowl. Because it's yummier.
Yeah. It is.
Beach run or forest hike?
Beach run.
Yeah, she's one of those who's working out when she's traveling, and and then making content around that. Don't skip your workouts.
Give me the funniest excuse that you've heard for somebody skipping out a class.
Not mine, okay?
Very common in women is that I started chumming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't fight that.
You can't fight
that. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this episode of Gal Pals Unplugged, and thank you, Swapna, for joining
so
us.
Much fun.
Yeah, because it was very informative. There's so many things, even though I've been training with you for a while, that I did not know. These are things she just shares up and about in class somewhere. So it was really informative, really fun. Please work out, guys. Make sure you're working out all the time. Like she said, she's leisurely working out on trips. So also start doing that. It's a bit much, but you can. But stay tuned, and there's so much more coming your way. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, because it keeps us motivated. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Walk us through a day in your life, because we obviously touched you dance, you create content. What?
We obviously touched you.
I didn't say we obviously touched. Asa we bole touched on.
It sounded like we obviously
touched
you.
What? Idiot.
But I do sleep in the afternoon. So
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
very like Pune Char.
Yeah.
I have to. Because YouTube really takes up time.
Yeah.
Like you really need to spend time creating content, shooting it. So yeah, that's something that is on the cards.
Yeah, we have a little idea about YouTube, so we a little bit of, but that should be your content piece, bro. Like, I want to see this on your Instagram, men versus women.
Yeah,
and the
we should do
shaking.
that.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, that
Yeah.
when men come into Pilates, they tell me that no cameras.
Oh.
So I have had people
Really?
who say that I don't want my friends to know that I come for Pilates.
If you tell me no, I would want it
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Like, and women, when we are on the thing, we're like, can you get a video now?
Yeah.
Is my hair okay?